No, I thought it was my heart.
Can you give me that noise one more time? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Whose Life Is It Anyway? This is a very real podcast, all about a fake podcast where someone's life story is about to be made up right here, right now, on the spot. I'm your host. My name is Ross Tyson, and of course, I don't do this thing alone. Making stuff up with me this week, I've got we've got a lot of luscious locks in the studio this week because I'm joined by Hannah Romes and Kitty Long. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
We're all having wonderful hair days.
And maybe a psychotic break, who's to say?
That's fine. Well, you know what? No better place to have a psychotic breakdown than Whose Life Is It Anyway?
Yes,
so before we
so
get
true.
fully into the psychotic breaks,
Of course.
what do you say we establish some roles and establish a theme for this week's episode, and then we'll make some stuff up?
I love it.
Adore her.
Let's do it.
Usually I do this for free.
So here's... I had to pay you to be here. You do this for free sometimes?
Oh, make stuff up? Yes.
Do you do this for free too? Because I also paid you a hefty fine to
I
be here.
do it free. I do for free.
I had to pay you extra for that, but...
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, you're talking about
You're
this.
brave.
Yeah.
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 Damn. Okay.
I love to lie because sometimes I stay in my truth by.
Well, before this gets any longer and gets more expensive for me, let me go ahead and establish your roles in the theme for this week's episode. So, Kitty, you are going to be the host of this week's
it's an
episode.
honor.
This is now your podcast. Hannah, that means you are the wonderful and mysterious guest on this podcast. Now, the theme. Hannah, as the guest, you are the former owner of HOSS, the giant Ohio hairball. And for anybody at home who is watching who doesn't know, I'm inserting a picture right now. Look at that monstrosity. Yes, that is a very real thing. This episode is based in reality, folks. So you are the former owner of HOSS, the giant Ohio hairball, and we're going to find out that he's secretly a murderous, disgusting monster. And all that hair, it's indeed human hair. And we're going to find out how he collected it and what it was like living with this absolute monstrosity. And remember, the points do matter in this show, so I'm going to be keeping score. All right. Are you just HOSS already? Are you just HOSS the giant hairball? All right.
HOSS, have some decorum.
Kitty, this is your podcast. Hannah used to own HOSS. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Kitty, take it away.
Welcome to our show. We are absolutely tickled to share a very real and a very present story today of a brave individual who used to have an intimate relationship, it sounds like, with HOSS the giant hairball, who's an absolute Ohio staple. And well, I guess first of all, I'd just like to say, can you tell everyone your name and what brought you here? We are so happy to have you.
Right, thank you so much for having me. My name's Harold, and I used to own HOSS the hairball for the upwards of 30 years, if not a little more.
Harold, thank you so much for your time and your care, for being here with us.
Change.
It's interesting that you were willing to come see us today. I'm sure you've seen HOSS in the news as of late.
Right, I have. Since I sold him, I had to sell him. He was taking up too much space in my trailer. So I sold him to the Ripley's Believe It or Believe It store. And if you can believe it, I'm just happy he's getting the attention he deserves.
You know, I'm a proud boy mama to 3
Proud boys. I know them.
They do seem like they would be awfully interested in HOSS. Yeah, they. I feel like they're often in the U-Hauls and all, and I could see HOSS just bouncing out down 71 with just reckless abandon. As far as I could see, And they really did need somebody to reel him in, and it sounds like you might not have been equipped. Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Hoss?
Absolutely. One day I was in the shower, and I was like, damn, this hair just keeps coming out. I grew my locks long because I was going through a bit of a breakup, not taking care of myself, eating a lot
Tale as
of
old as
fruit.
time.
Eating as old as time. Watching a lot of that movie and just thinking about my life. I was eating a lot of Fritos and Doritos and taquitos and...
It is wild watching the Edo's stock go up, up, up when you're feeling down, down, down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm going to pause us here. I think it's a great time to interject with our first game. We're going to play number of words as this interview really gets rolling. Hannah, you can speak in 4 words. Kitty, you can use 3 and continue.
Tell me more.
The stock went up.
Big business good.
My feelings go down.
Down feelings. Big.
Only all the time.
That sounds hard.
Oh, it was, really.
Just absolute despair.
I couldn't dig out.
There's hair everywhere.
There's hair over there.
Underwear? Hair?
You made me say.
You know what? We're going to end that one. You both get a point for that one. That was wonderful. While we're paused here, I'm going to go ahead and use a host power. We're going to change the theme of this podcast. As we dig deeper into this story, this is going to take place more in a horror movie because no one can look at Hoss the giant Ohio hairball without being absolutely disgusted and afraid. So this is now a horror-themed podcast. And continue.
Wow, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for a real hairy episode of Kitty's Horror Parade. I'm so excited to have with me the former owner of HOSS, the Ohio Hairball. We are so grateful for you to share your story.
Right, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to share now. Like we were talking about before the show started, I was incredibly depressed. And that's when I created the hairball. Specifically, I looked at my hair. And I thought, if my hair could be so beautiful, thrown on the ceiling walls and the shower walls and the little drain, how beautiful would other people's hair look? And I've already been trialed for it and found not guilty, so my lawyer said, why not go on a tour about it? If OJ can talk, so can you, Harold.
If the hairnet don't fit, must have quit. Am I right or am I right?
That's the saying that saying's so familiar, I won't even ask you to say it again, but you can if you want.
If the hairnet fits, they must have quit. I remember that from your trial.
I'm going to pause us here to play If You Know What I Mean, where each of you can speak only in innuendos and continue.
I mean, it's not very often that you see a ball like that in the wild, if you know what I mean.
And it didn't happen overnight. It happened over multiple nights after I'd burned off my fingertips, if you know what I mean.
I had an ex who would burn off his fingertips. And let's just say he did not have one of the greatest figures in Ohio horror history riding around beside him, but he did have a figure of Ohio horror history, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm talking to you now, so I think I have an idea, if you know what I'm saying.
There's just a certain something about a man who's throwing hair at a ceiling or at a wall or pulling it out of the drain or going to a barber shop and doing that thing where you put some masking tape on the ground so some of the hair from the barber shop gets on the masking tape so you can take it home and you can do kind of your own arts and crafts with it. That's something really special in a person, if you know what I mean.
Wow. I really wish I had that idea 40 years ago. Because so many more people would be alive today, if you know what I mean. I didn't even think about going to hair salons. I was trying to get fresh cuticles right out of the pore, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's why horror fans are so absolutely abuzz, and that's why I'm so grateful to be talking to you today, because there's a rumor that for every person who had a cuticle pulled from their very head to go into HOSS's big, meaty, bouncing ball,
Big, meaty, bouncing ball.
that they are no longer with us. Would you care to speak on that?
I will. And I get so insecure about that sometimes, because first couple times it was an accident. I was going to a funeral home, if you know what I mean. You know what people talk about when they say, oh, you could crash a graduation party, say you're a second cousin, and you can get some free food. And I've done that before in my low times in my life. They have a lot of taquitos there, which I love.
Change.
They have a lot of little tiny those little flags on a toothpick that go into the little sandwiches, and I love to take those home and put them in the little tiny claw of my taxidermy squirrels, so they look like they're in a little parade, but they're dead squirrels. My mantle's not even real. I live in a trailer.
I'm going to pause us here. If you know what I mean is done. You both got a point. Wonderful work. But while we're paused here, we're going to go ahead and interject with the game. I have a secret where I am going to give you a secret that is written on this secret piece of paper. I'm going to hand it to one of you. Hannah, this is going to be your secret to build up and reveal at some point in the next few moments of this interview. And continue.
You know, I appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm sick of people saying men can't have hobbies. It's taxidermy the family cat, just put them to good use. And I think sustainability is a big hot button issue right now.
Change.
It's important to remember that there's always another use for those little toothpicks that have the little flags on them that you get in a sandwich at a grad party that you can crash because you said there was their second cousin. And I'm really grateful to see those getting used in such a special way.
Right. Now, I like to go to multiple other kind of parties and collect little things. Yeah,
share about that.
Like a wedding. I'll go to a wedding. I'll go to any kind of wedding.
A union of two people.
Or three, depending on where you live. But
if you live in Old Town East.
Yeah, if you live in Old Town East, don't look like it's got that way with a lot of people. I'll go to weddings, I'll go to bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, I don't care, I'll go anywhere. But I like to collect. I collect like a tax collector, if you will, like a biblical one or whatever, But anyways, so I've collected over the years many things, and that's what got me to my hair collection. And I was going to funeral homes, funerals, receptions, maybe standing in line at an amusement park on a hot day. People will just be grateful that you're shaving some of their head off at the end of the day, because it's hot. And what if it gets caught in the Splash Mountain?
Change.
What if it gets caught, in your teeth when you're eating a little Mickey Mouse Pop-Tart?
Change.
What if it What if it's just in your eyes? That's so annoying. That's so annoying to have eyes.
It's infuriating.
Hair in your eyes.
Infuriating.
So I'll bring a little buzzer, and sometimes at Walt Disney or Six Flags, if I'm trying to go after poor folks, I'll put on a vest that says I'm a worker of that establishment, walk around and say, "Excuse me, would you like me to shave some of your head? It's a new thing we're doing, and it's going to donate. We're going to donate it." And people don't ever ask where you're going to donate, which I think is a problem. Nobody ever asks the Salvation Army bell ringer at Christmas where that money's going.
I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to use the podcast producer power of fast forward. And we're going to fast forward to the later part of this interview where our guest reveals their big secret they've been holding in. And continue.
You've been so vulnerable.
Every time I think about her, I just want to cry. And she said, she told me, "Harold, I'm never gonna come back to you, because you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me that all this time you were collecting more than little tiny sandwich flags, more than just somebody's hair, more than squirrels. You were collecting secrets. You were collecting deception. You were collecting psychopathy, looking me in the eye day after day, and when you knew in your heart, you knew in your soul that you pooped your pants when we first sat down here. And it was a secret I had kept in. We were sitting down for a few years at that point together. And my AC went out, there was no HVAC. So the trailer got dank. The trailer got dank.
Pause. This feels like a good time to go ahead and switch our roles. Hannah, you're now the host of this podcast. Kitty, after that big secret reveal, you're now our guest Harold, the owner of HOSS, the giant hairball.
And that was a moment that I really felt like I knew HOSS. It changed things between us for the rest of history, and I knew that being a collector was going to do more than get me on that TLC show.
Right, and you think all of that collecting and leaving your wife leaving you, that's what propelled this forward?
That's a great question. Let's go ahead and continue with questions only.
What if life is not just an ever-searching, an never-ending search for companionship?
Right, who was anyone without a little bit of love, you know?
Why does HOSS not deserve love? I know what he did to those people, but he's the conglomeration of so many cuticles and stories and days at the Six Flags and days at the funeral home and days at the bat mitzvah and the bar mitzvah and days across so many experiences. And what you're saying he doesn't deserve a little something too?
How did you come to terms with realizing that Ross, or HOSS, rather, was the accumulation of all of your sorrow and loneliness and the personification of your sadness and how nobody loved you and nobody ever would probably love you? How did you get over that?
What I'm asking you to think about. Just imagine how transformative it is to shit your pants as soon as you sit down in this dank trailer with no HVAC and no AC and Harold and his big green eyes and all those taxidermy squirrels with with the little flag toothpicks sticking out of them, and would that not transform a broken man into a father?
I'm going to go ahead and pause everything here for a second. We are going to end questions only. We are also going to switch our roles back to their original forms. And while we're paused, we're also going to throw in the game Whose Line. I'm going to give you each 2 secret lines written on these pieces of paper. We've only got a few minutes left in this podcast interview, so you need to work these into the next few moments. And also, while we're wrapping things up here, to give ourselves some finality to this wonderful hairy story that we've been telling.
You should have a podcast.
I'll give myself a point for that one. I want to know what happened on the final night that Harold was the owner of HOSS. What caused him to get rid of him? What happened in this murderous monstrosity known as HOSS? How did that final night go down? So let's wrap up the interview with that while playing Whose Line and continue.
There's so much left unsaid, and I guess my question is, you had this transformative journey together. What ultimately made you realize that HOSS needed something bigger than you, better than you, stronger than you, kinder than you? What made you realize that?
I do love the black-eyed peas. But what happened really, why I had to get rid of HOSS, was really the federal government and the police. So I was there, I was in my trailer hanging out, and we both were all HOSS, and we were talking, and knock on my door.
Excuse me. Hi, it's the Sheriff Whitney here. And
I said, "Oh, Whitney, how do you remember me? We dated in high school."
she said, oh, yeah, I remember you, Harold. You always bring that up. It was one date, and we didn't even mean to go on a date. It was more of just a study date, and I told you I was not really interested. And
Anyway, it's all right. Can't share that. But she looked at me and she looked at HOSS, who was sitting in his comfy chair. We were watching C-SPAN 2. That's what.
Change.
We were watching C-SPAN 1.
Change.
We were watching Antiques Roadshow. I never really learned how that tapestry ended up being so expensive, because she says to me,
Ross, Harold, will you just give it a little squeeze?
and I say, "Whitney, I'm getting mixed signals from you." And she said,
No, not. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about, will you give HOSS a little squeeze?
and she knew his name because I had started a local Instagram account sharing our adventures. We go to cafes and take photos together. Anyway, sorry, I'll digress. So I squeeze him, and she sees the blood spill out on the floor, and she
Probably
said,
congealing at that point.
right, it was. And feel free to cut me off whenever, but she squeezes him and the blood comes out.
She's like, I need to test some of that blood.
And it was a victim of a murder locally. I had forgotten that I had put this old lady in this hair because HOSS was getting really dented and misshapen, and so I wanted to give him some more volume, and Mildred next door didn't need all of her money anyway, so I told Whitney, I said, "I'm so sorry about this, I'm so sorry about the blood." I said, one thing that you can do for sure is that you can just slip your thumb in and see for yourself. And Whitney found multiple other victims that I had forgotten that I had allegedly killed, and so they said the murder was so interesting and that I had already been charged for the suspected murders.
Well,
and I
there
didn't
was
have
that
to go back to
Instagram.
court. Well, the Instagram, of course.
It was on Ellen.
Right.
What I remember.
Right.
Change.
It was on the Wendy Williams show, if I remember.
Change.
It was on Fox and Friends, if I remember. And
Yeah,
and I think that's something where that was the first time I ever heard HOSS say one of my favorite lines. My friends call me Mr. Tuggy. And I think that's really something special. And something that it kind of sounds like Haas told on himself.
And that's the defense my lawyer went with when I had to do a little bit of PR.
Sure.
But they said, these murder victims, it should not be in vain. These people lived wonderful lives. Mildred,
Change.
these people lived surprisingly normal lives. Not Mildred next door. She was a chain smoker and just watched TV with her cats all the time. I don't know if anyone
Who
misses
among
her.
us hasn't,
But now Mildred's body is inside the Ripley's Believe It or Believe It Museum gift shop. And
What a gift.
What a
What a gift.
And that's what I said. That's what the good Lord says.
There's something about at the end of a museum and you find a body and you say to yourself, I want you to spank me right now to that body that's in the gift shop. And I'm so, I'm really grateful that you were able to give her that experience.
I think she's looking up at us and so happy that while her body is full of sin and burning in hell,
Of course.
her other body, her earthly body, can be at a gift shop, possibly taking photos with little kids, maybe stick their gum in it, whatever.
And that is our time. Oh my Haas. That was quite the life story interview, if I do say so myself. My
You're a storyteller.
goodness.
At the end of the day, you're a
can I
storyteller.
say?
How did you kept that voice up the whole
I know,
time?
good for
That's
you.
I feel-
And you tried it at one point in time.
Did.
That was
How would that go?
good. That
Not
was
well.
good.
Yeah.
I have nodes.
Oh, you do?
Now I do.
I probably definitely do.
Hoss the giant hairball. Turns out the owner was the murderer the whole time. That's like a classic Scooby-Doo twist.
Yeah.
Zoinks!
It's always the first person you meet.
another point.
Yeah.
It's always the person you most suspect, and you kind of gave me an air of, I suspect you.
Yeah, Kitty, as the host of this podcast, would you have immediately suspected Harold, the owner of Hoss, as the actual murderer? Like, reflecting back, would you assume that in that character, would you just be like, hey, you murdered these people, right?
I don't know.
You seemed very forgiving.
There's something about transformation that's so special to me, and I think there's a transformative nature of taquitos and Fritos and Doritos and those little toothpicks with the flags on them that you find in sandwiches at grad parties, and I think that's really powerful, and I don't want to take that away from someone.
Wow. You bring so much thoughtfulness to this show. A thoughtfulness that I never thought I would see.
It's really.
Let's just say my journal pages are going to hear about this one.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, let's see if they're going to hear about you winning this episode of Whose Life. Or unfortunately losing your life, which it seems like you might be on the verge of doing right now. Do you need the Heimlich?
No, but I do taste blood in my throat a little bit.
That's fair. Well, let's
That's
get
from
this.
that voice.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
that's
used to
probably it's doing Harold's voice. Well, let's get this thing wrapped up before we have to go to the hospital. The points are in. The scores have been
Doesn't change
settled.
anything.
It changes everything for me.
I think it might change a lot for one of you. Kitty, you combed out a very hairy 5 points in this episode.
Okay.
5 whole points. 5 points. 5
That's
points.
good. That's really good.
Okay.
Hannah. Or should I say Harold?
Call back.
I can't believe he remembers that.
No, it's crazy.
You racked up 7 points in this one. That means this victory goes to Hannah. How are you guys feeling as friends right now in this very moment? You stopped holding hands, I
I
noticed.
don't want to talk to you ever again.
Oh.
Is that? I don't talk to losers.
Oh my. Oh, well, as you wipe your tears,
I
Hannah,
guess I thought. I guess I thought what we had was deeper than a couple stupid points, but
Oh no. Turns out it wasn't.
they said this is about having fun, but I only have fun when I'm winning, and when I'm not winning, I'm not having fun.
That's understandable.
I'm really not having fun anymore.
Hannah, while Kitty collects herself, victory speech to the folks at home. Anything you want to say?
I think we all learned today that
Is this your victory voice?
stories, collections of love and emotion and feelings, like, just because your wife leaves you or somebody leaves you, like I'm leaving Kitty, it doesn't mean that this is the end of your journey. It just simply means that maybe you need to try harder.
Wow. I don't think Hoss the Giant Hairball could have said it better himself.
Thank you.
That is absolutely wonderful. Well, before we all part ways, in some ways it sounds like further parting of ways than others.
Forever.
Can we all collectively play one last game together? Because I need your guys' help in signing off and telling the people goodbye. Can we do that?
Yeah.
I think I got a little bit of something in me.
I sure hope so,
Yeah.
because it's whose life
Do you guys
tradition.
promise?
Okay.
Yes.
we hold
Yes.
hands?
We can join our hair. We can braid each of our hair together in honor of Hoss. I need your guys' help to tell the folks
Hold hands.
goodbye. One word at a time. I never know how to wrap up these episodes, so we got to do it collectively. I'll kick us off. Hoss,
Is
Hey.
big,
Harry, buddy,
who,
loves
You.
only,
when
Your.
not,
awake,
But.
also,
when
Your.
birthday,
is
Today.
so,
happy.
Birthday.
bitch. At Who's Life Pod, Hannah, where can the people find you?
Hannah Romes on Instagram.
Kitty, where can the people find you?
You can find me at kitty_long on Instagram.com or on the app.
Follow this show at Who's Life Pod. Follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're on. And hey, go follow Hoss the Giant Ohio Hairball. I'm assuming it has an actual Instagram profile, whether it was created by Harold or not. Folks, it's a real thing. Go look it up and save the vomit for later. That was another episode of Whose Life Is It Anyway? Thank you so very much.